What's up, my guys, and welcome back to this god-awful show. I'm your host, Cody, the man with a face that was made for radio and only a mother could love, and even she has her down some days. I tell you what, brother, but enough of all that right there, because it's time to talk some damn wrestling. Now, what we do here on the show, the Wrestler Report Card, is I take a wrestler show. I break down every match. I give them each a letter grade, and at the end, I tally them son bitches up to get that show its own report card. And tonight we're bringing you the weekend review for AEW. And yes sir, on Wednesday we had possibly the best episode of Dynamite of the year to date, as we're building up towards next weekend, as we have Forbidden Door up there in Toronto, where AEW will send their best to take on New Japan's best. And yeah, we built up a lot of those matches on this episode, but tonight we got the debut of AEW Collision. And get the ice cream bars ready, baby, cause CM Punk is making his return in his hometown of Chicago. It's gonna be crazy. So as y'all can tell, we got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, go on and buckle up, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. And let's get to grading, my guy. First up, we're gonna review that stacked episode of AEW Dynamite that happened Wednesday. And we kicked that sumbitch off with the AEW champion MJF going up against Adam Cole. And if Adam Cole wins, he will get a title shot in the future. But remember, MJF just don't miss, my guy. And I tell you what, this match right here was a clinic. I mean, it was so good. I had forgotten all about the 30-minute time limit until it happened. And that sumbitch went off right as Adam Cole rolled MJF up for the 1, the 2, and the ref's hand was literally inches away from slapping the mat for the 3rd time when you heard it. So that ended in a draw. And I tell you what, this here ain't over between MJF and Mr. Adam Cole, baby, and neither is MJF's night. Like I said, we're setting up matches for Forbidden Door, and later on, as MJF was in the training room, he gets called out for a match at Forbidden Door for his AEW Heavyweight Championship. Yes, the Triple B by none other than the ace of New Japan. That's right, Tanahashi, MJF, one-on-one, and you know that that's going to be a banger, just like this opening match was a banger. Like I said, those two guys went out and put on a damn clinic. I'm slapping an A+ on that sumbitch, and the night just keeps getting better, because up next, we got Sammy Guevara coming out to the ring. Looks like he's trying to get his face turned in full swing. And after him, it was Darby Allin who came out and followed. And he basically came down and told Sammy that he needs to leave Chris Jericho alone. And I mean, you know how pro wrestling works. You know the rules. If you hear your name, you gotta come down the ramp. And that's exactly what the Ocho did, that veteran him. And he came down and was barking Sammy around, swinging that bat around like he knows how to swing it. When next up, by God, it's Sting! Darby let us know that he's not alone. Sting, look at that baseball that Chris Jericho had. Smacked that shit out of his ring, said, boy, you better get out of here. And I gotta say, this was so cool, because tonight marked the first time ever that you had Sting and Chris Jericho in the ring. And I tell you what, that alone made the entire segment. I'm gonna slap an A- on that sumbitch, and we're gonna go straight from that into some 8-man tag action, as you got Darby Allin and Sting. Yes, 65-year-old Sting. They're teaming up with Orange Cassidy and the monstrosity that is Keith Lee, and they're going up against Swerve, Brian Cage, who was actually paying homage to Sting tonight with the face paint on, and the rest of the Mogul Embassy. And I tell you what, this sumbitch right here was crazy, my guy. I mean, you had guys flying around everywhere. Even Sting's old ass got up in the air, but at the end of the day, with the little assistance from some Orange Punch, Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop onto Brian Cage. I mean, have you never heard the saying, don't meet your idols, bro? Well, anyways, ain't nobody kicking out of that, my guy. Sting and the boys pick up the 1, 2, 3, and that was awesome. I'm gonna slap a B+ on that sumbitch. Then, after hearing that Sonata issued an open challenge for that IWGP Heavyweight Championship, we find out that it gets answered by none other than Jungle Boy Jack. And look, I know a lot of people are mad about that, but you just know that when that match does happen, it's gonna be an absolute banger, my guy. But we got to get back to the action tonight, because next up we got another title on the line as Wardlow defends that their TNT Championship against big old Jake Hager in that damn purple bucket hat. And I mean, we all knew it was going to happen. After not too long, Wardlow ends up picking up the 1, 2, 3 and retaining that title. I'm going to slap a B- on that sumbitch. Now we're going to go to our second title match of the night as Toni Storm defends against Sky Blue. And I tell you what, Sky Blue came out and put on a show tonight, but at the end of the day, it wasn't enough, because after getting a little help from her friends, Tony Storm still gets the 1, 2, 3, and again, that was just another solid match right there. I'm gonna slap a B- on that sumbitch. But now, y'all know what part of the show we got into. That's enough of the talk because it's time for the main event. You got Hangman Page and the Young Bucks representing the Elite taking on the Blackpool Combat Club, while you have Bryan Danielson up on the booth for commentary, and he ain't gonna be there for long. Plus, you got Kenny Omega in the back, and you know he ain't gonna be there for long. And I tell you what, this match was insane, and poor Willa Yuta just got decimated at the end, and it ended with Hangman hitting the buckshot lariat, and ain't nobody kicking out of that, my guy. And the match was great, but after the match is when the fireworks started. I tell you what, as you know, you got Danielson coming down, you got Kenny Omega coming down, you knew that freaking rat-faced bastard Don Callis and Takeshita, who was back there with the slit jacket on, they came down, and then out of nowhere, Eddie Kingston, my guy, he makes his return to AEW, and he's here for one reason, and that's to kick the dog shit out of Claudio. I don't know what it is about Claudio, but when Eddie Kingston sees that bald-headed sumbitch, he just wants to choke the life out of him. He wants to choke him so hard that he's gonna make his hair grow back. I tell you what. And then at the end of the day, when it looked like Kenny Omega was finally getting his revenge on Don Callis and everybody else that screwed him over, up pop Will Ospreay and bruv. I tell you what, that's how you end Dynamite right there. I mean, Forbidden Door might just be that show moving forward, because I mean, we still got a whole nother week to do. We got Collision coming up that I'm about to watch tonight. I'm glad I got my heart rate going up for that. But for that main event right there, I'm slapping an A+ on that sumbitch. Well done right there, Dynamite. That does remind you of the old days of Dynamite, but that's enough about Dynamite right there, because we got all the grades in. Now let's take a look at the report card, my guy. After tallying everything up, we came out with a final letter grade of an A-. That's right, a 90%. I told y'all Uncle Tony done stacked this sumbitch up right here. Well, that's enough about Dynamite, like I said, because now it's time for the debut of AEW Collision. And we're kicking this sumbitch off with the returning CM Punk. That's right, the Muffin Man is back, and I tell you what, this place was absolutely going crazy. But once that sumbitch got a mic in his hand, you could have heard a pin drop in this sold-out arena. I tell you what, he then started reading all the signs in the arena saying, CM Junk, you could call me that. Pepsi Phil, you could call me that. But most people call me One Bill Phil. You know why? And this is where he sent a shot over at the Young Bucks when he said, I'm the only real Bill in a world full of counterfeit Bucks. And yeah, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, hey, how you doing? Now, fans, if you think I owe you an apology, you really are softer than your favorite wrestler. Like, sheesh, CM Punk. Then he pulls out a bag containing what seems to be the AEW World title that he never lost. But honestly, you never know with this cat. And yeah, you got a brand new show. This is how you kick that sumbitch off. You get CM Punk out here talking this shit. That's what I'm talking about. And you knew he was going to take a couple shots over there at the Elite. But like a certain Paul Levesque once said, it's what's best for business. So yeah, with all things considered, for the first ever segment in AEW Collision history, I'm gonna slap an A on that sumbitch. Now we're gonna jump over to the first match in Collision history, and it just so happens to be a title match, as you got Wardlow defending that TNT Championship against Luchasaurus. And hell yeah, brother, this ain't nothing but a couple of big sweaty men slapping meat. And you already know that Christian and that damn turtleneck were out here causing ruckus all over the place. And as soon as that ref got distraction, Christian snuck up on the champ, smacked that sumbitch with a camera of all things, and that really gave his guy an edge, if you know what I mean, if you catch my drift. And Luchasaurus made the cover, and that was all she wrote. And on the very first episode, in the very first match of AEW Collision, we got a brand new champion as Luchasaurus picks up his first singles title as he gets the TNT Championship. Even though while you watched it, it looked like Christian was the one that just celebrated, so we'll probably have to keep an eye on that moving forward. But for that opening match, I'm going to slap a B on that sumbitch. Now let's go into our second match of the night, as you got Buddy Matthews taking on Andrade. And as you know, with Rhea and Charlotte, I mean, all I'm going to say is this is what happens when you order WrestleMania 39 on Wish. Damn it. Now, all jokes aside, welcome back, Andrade, and holy shit, that's how you make a return. These guys were out here just throwing down, but Buddy ended up hurting his knee, and Andrade capitalized. He didn't just hit the figure 4. Woo! He ended up hitting the figure 8, giving a shout out to his wife, which I thought was pretty dope. Then after the match, after Andrade picked up the 1, 2, 3, and he went to shake hands with Buddy. Buddy shoved him away at first, but just as soon as it looked like he was gonna man up and shake the hands of the man that just beat him, the lights go out, and when they come back on, you got Brody King and the disastrous Malachi Black popped up, and I tell you what, them some bitches right there are creepy, and that was insane. You had Julia Hart ringside the whole time, and that was just a great match. Welcome back, Andrade. I'm glad that pec's healing nicely for you there, brother. Y'all can hate me all you want. I'ma slap an A on that son bitch, but now we gonna jump over and we got another return as you got the Redeemer, Miro, returning, and he's going down to take on Tony Nese. And Tony, I don't know why you come down here messing with these people, man. After Miro booted that boy back to the Cruiserweight division, he applied that infamous submission, and it was game over, man. Welcome back, Miro, again. Welcome back, Andrade. Can't wait to see my girl Thunder Rosa coming back. But for that match we just witnessed, I'ma slap a B- on that son bitch. And we ain't done there because we gonna jump over to the women's division as you got Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue teaming up to take on the Outcast. And no, I ain't talking Big Boy and 3 Stacks. And I tell you what, before we could even get the damn bell rung, these ladies were in an all-out brawl. Hell, you even had Sky Blue's mama out here slapping chicks. And I tell you what, Sky Blue put on a show tonight, but one mistake almost cost her the match. Then the Outcast got a little bit too cocky, and in her hometown, Sky Blue ends up picking up the 1, 2, 3, and that's a big moment for her. She's really been looking good as of late, and she's been getting a push. We'll see how the AEW's women's division goes now that we got AEW Collision. Hopefully we can see some improvement. I'ma slap a B on that son bitch. I thought that was a really good match by the ladies. Then next, scissor me timber, brother. It's the Acclaimed coming out, and first things first, we out here wishing a happy Father's Day to Daddy Ass. I mean, even though your sons are complete sacks of excrement, it's not 100% your fault. Look at Rey Mysterio. Now, they also went on to say that the AEW Trios titles ain't exactly out of the picture yet for the Acclaimed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about there. Plus, we're making history with the first ever Collision scissoring, and I tell you what, Tony Schiavone, get that old ass of yours in there. And I thought that was pretty awesome. I thought it was a great way to hype up that crowd to get them going for that main event. I'm gonna slap a B- on that son bitch, but like I just said, y'all know what part of the show we got to. That's enough of the talk, because it's time for the main event. Making his long-awaited in-ring return, you got CM Punk teaming up with his boys, the tag team champions FTR, as they're taking on Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice. And it was really good to hear that good old JR was able to come in and call this match. I hope you all right, my guy. That's an Oklahoma legend right there. I tell you what. Now, with Samoa Joe and CM Punk squared off for the first time tonight, I thought the roof was gonna blow off this son bitch. And we fast forward to the end, and with everyone brawling all over the damn place, back in the ring, Punk and Joe are the legal men. Then boom, it's Joe with the clutch on Punk. He's looking like he's about to tap. Now at this point, you had everybody tied up in a submission hold, and then Cash was the first one to break free. And instead of like breaking up the hold Samoa Joe had on CM Punk, the legal competitors, he just dove over at Dax Harwood. And then, long story short, Dax Harwood ended up breaking that sumbitch up. That just made me laugh right there. Over on the other side, Juice tagged in, but the poor guy ran into the Shatter Machine, followed by the GTS, and ain't nobody kicking out of that, my guy. And in his return, after over a year off, CM Punk picks up the 1, 2, 3, and I gotta admit, my guy looked pretty good out there. Now, this main event was damn near, if not all of, 30 minutes long. They really wanted to get my guy his TV time, and I'm glad they get. I'm looking forward to see what he does moving forward. Definitely on the mic, you know he's going to be sending some shots. Ain't nobody off limits, okay? Hell, he'll call out guys from New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW, WWE, NXT. Hell, I even heard him call out a guy from UPS one time. I shit you not. But hey, let me get back on track for that main event right there. The first ever main event in Collision history. I'm going to slap a B+ on that sumbitch. And you know what point of the show we got into. We got all the grades in. Now let's take a look at the report card, my guy. After tallying everything up, we came out with a final letter grade of a B+. Plus, that's right, it squeaked out with an 87%. And I tell you what, that's how you kick it off right there, Uncle Tony. It looks like it's going to be heavy CM Punk moving forward. So you're either going to love that or you're going to hate that. In my opinion, you're going to want to tune in. That's all I know. Well, with all that being said, I want to give a shout out to my guy Steve-O, man. Go follow his Twitch up there. One of the funniest dudes I know. He's great on there. Also, you know him, OG Bobby Nighthawk. You know where to find him on SoundCloud. And last but not least, want to give a shout out to all 12 of you that are still tuned in. If you're new and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. That would be dope. You could also like, comment, let me know how dumb this mullet looks. Well, with all that being said, I'm your host, Cody. I'll sign it off. I hope all you BEA beautiful people stay safe out there and have a nice day.